What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. It is time now for the Tuesday edition of the Pandemic Update for Tuesday, August 15th, 2023. Today we just have a few news stories to show you. Then we do have quite a bit of data, including we do want to take a look at some more of those Walgreens sites. And we will look at a couple wastewater sites today as well. Plus, we do have data from, I believe it is Colorado today. Yes, we are going to take a look at some data from Colorado, New Jersey, New York. So let's get into it. Hospital report, uptick in COVID cases. And you're probably wondering, well, where? Well, this is actually Martha's Vineyard is actually seeing an uptick. And I'm so tired of the media using the word uptick. You're going to see why today. I do not want to call it an uptick, and I want to call it a surge because in many places it's more than an uptick now. It's really starting to go up in some places, but yes, they are starting to see an increase in cases and an increase in the number of people showing up at the hospital with coronavirus at Mass General Brigham. This is in Martha's Vineyard. Moving on to this now. New coronavirus variant EG.5 gains momentum in Japan. So the EG.5 variant is now starting to rise over in Japan. That's not good. We know it's rising here in the United States. We know the FL 1.5.1 is rising. We will get a new variant update, hopefully this upcoming Friday. Haven't decided if we're actually going to do a variant update video or just put it into the pandemic update. That's going to be an on-time decision because, as you know, last update, the CDC did not, for multiple regions of the HHS, did not post the full data, which if they're not going to post the full data, why would I do a full video on? All right, now this. Rhode Island woman dies from a tick-borne illness known as Powassan virus disease. Hopefully I am saying that correctly. And this is just another of the many tick-borne illnesses that we're seeing continue on. I mean, this is really starting to get serious. We have Lyme, which is on the rise across the country. We have this one. We have Rocky Mountain spotted fever. There's a whole array of different tick-borne illnesses which are rising. As you know, the tick population is rising, and that has to do with our warming climate. Speaking of climate, let's take a look at air quality for today. And what you will see is that there are a few areas of concern, one being across the Great Lakes today. And we do have a couple areas of concern. It's not fully showing up here on the map. It's not loading up all the air quality sensor sites, but there are a few areas of concern. Here we go. Yes, in the Pacific Northwest, where it is very hot right now. Take a look at this. Yeah, you do have some really bad air qualities, and we have some new wildfires that are now ongoing up in Canada, and because of that, yes, some increasingly bad sites up in Canada. I'm concerned about that because we could have a couple northwest flow events come in again. Some of this smoke and bad air quality could return to the United States. You already see it across the Great Lakes. So we'll have to watch over the next couple weeks. And of course, I keep an eye on that. I got a whole nother channel called Climate Data Report. It's just down below. I did not post anything there yet today. I may post one of my shorts there today later on. There is some concerning trends for about a flooding event out on the West Coast. May not get a full update, may just do a short update later on. So subscribe to that down below if you want to see more about climate. All right, moving back to coronavirus, let's take a look at some of those Walgreens sites. Some that we've missed yesterday. We may hit a couple that we already did, but this time we're going to start on the East Coast. First off, nationally, Walgreens is at 43.4% positivity. Prior week was 44.2%. That's a difference of down 0.7%. Testing was up this week. 3,140 tests, 2,899 last week. So it's good to see testing up. No matter what the case may be, it's good to see testing up. I just wish we would see it up all the time. Maine did not report last week. 18.2% positivity in Maine last week. Or, excuse me, this week it was 0 last week. They didn't report last week. 11 tests versus 0 last week. Let's come down here to, can we do New Jersey? Yes. Any state that's in white on here did not report. All right, New Jersey is at 38.9% positivity. Prior week was 38.2%. That's a difference of up 0.7%. Total test, 72 versus 76. Maryland, positivity. 40.6% this week. Prior week was 50%. That's a difference of down 9.4%. And testing was up. So it's a legitimate dropping in the positivity. Whether cases are actually down or not, we actually can't say, because we do know that Maryland hospitals are very busy right now. We're going to take a look at that data again today. Current week's testing, 32 versus 18 again. All right, let's come out here to Indiana. Don't think we did Indiana yesterday. 38.5% positivity this week. Prior week was 28.6%. That's a difference of 9.9%. Total tests, 26 versus 35. Testing's down, but this is likely a legitimate rise. How about the Carolinas? In North Carolina, the positivity is 35.5%. The prior week was 42%. Difference of 6.5% down. And taking a look here, 107 tests versus 100 tests. So, yes, there was an increase in testing there. South Carolina, 45.5% this week. The prior week was 44.1%. That's a difference of up 1.3%. Not good. And with a big increase in testing. 66 versus 34. I know it's not a lot of tests, but South Carolina is a smaller smaller state. So when we see an increase in testing, which almost doubled, that's concerning because the positivity continued to go up anyhow. Georgia this week is 37.7%. Last week was 46.7%. Down by 9%, 154 tests versus 135. Increase in testing, but that's still a high positivity there at 37.7%. Alabama, 35.8% this week. It was 46.7% last week. Testing's up 31 versus 15, which caused there to be a 20.9% drop in positivity. How about Missouri? 45.5% positivity this week, 37% last week. Increase in testing and positivity, 8.4% increase in positivity, 44 tests versus 27. That's not good to see. How about we come out here to Kansas? Kansas this week, 40 versus 0 last week. Kansas did not report last week. 10 tests versus 0. Let's come down here to Oklahoma. Oklahoma this week reports 53.3% positivity. And last week they had 46.2% positivity. And that is a 7.2% increase with an increase in testing. That is not good to see. Let's take a look. Did we do Wisconsin or Minnesota yesterday? I don't know. Let's do Minnesota anyhow, and we will move on. I'm sure we missed a state. Apologies if we did. 27.7% this week. Prior week was 30%. Difference of down 2.3%. 47 tests versus 30 tests. It's an increase in testing and a positivity drop. So that is a good thing to see. Actually, I don't recall doing Rhode Island yesterday, and Rhode Island is reporting. And I do want to do Rhode Island. This is very important because Rhode Island is right next to Massachusetts. It's right next to Connecticut. We know wastewater is rising in these areas. How about Walgreens? And wow, 36.4% positivity this week. Prior week was 20%. That's a difference of up 16.4%. Not good. 11 tests versus 10. Only one more. It's very tiny testing, but that positivity is really going up. Now let's do we're just going to do a couple of these wastewater sites that detect other things besides COVID. They protect COVID, but they can also detect other things as well. I wish we had some sites on this website in Washington and Oregon. We don't at the moment. So let's take a look at Idaho. We haven't done Idaho in a while. We've done Idaho on this before, but let's just see here. I believe this is down by Boise, Idaho. Yes, it is. So let's see here. Here's a population of 108,000. SARS coronavirus. Got to move myself to the left. Coronavirus is going up. Influenza is flat. In other words, there's zero influenza right now. RSV not detected. HMPV not detected. No Mpox and no norovirus concerns at this site today. Let's continue on here. Let's do one in the East Coast somewhere. How about we do one in Kinston, North Carolina? Let's see what's going on there. And this is a population of 25,000. And you can see here, it's one of the newer sites. Started back in June, but look at this. It's rapidly going up. That's concerning. Influenza not detected. RSV not detected. HMPV no longer an issue. Mpox not detected. And there are some norovirus concerns. But does look like it's dropping on the most recent update. Moving on, we do know that BioBot, uh, the Midwest is the most fastest rising region. Look at this, straight up. Northeast is dropping some, the South is dropping some. We'll have to see if that continues or not. And the West Coast is rising some at this time. Taking a look at CDC wastewater surveillance, and you will see that the number of red sites and orange sites all across the country is starting to go up faster, which is not a good thing. Taking a look here at emergency department missions. Let's refresh this. I don't think there was an update. Oh, there was an update. Alrighty, this is not good to see. Sometimes there is an update on Tuesday because the media has been reporting about hospitalization increases on Tuesday. I thought it always used to be Thursday. I thought there's a second update later in the week. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. The point is, look at these admissions right here. COVID-19 hospital admissions, 10,320 now. It's continuing to go up. But it doesn't look like this map down here updated. But you get the idea. Look at all this orange. All this orange is bad news. That represents areas that are seeing increases in emergency department visits. And yes, again, 10,320 admissions last week. That number is going up. At this point, I would not call it an uptick. I would call it a surge. And you're going to see more hospital data in just a little bit. EG.5 dominates. The other variant that I'm most concerned about is FL 1.5.1. And we're also getting word now. I'm not going to show an article or report on this yet. I'm just going to make mention of this. We're also getting word there is now a BA.6 variant, which is showing its ugly head over in the UK. We don't know much about it yet. Is it more severe? Is it less severe? Got to be optimistic. We don't know much about it, but what we do know is it is causing there to be a surge in the UK right now. It's something we will continue to monitor. I'll be keeping my eye out for more news on that variant. And, of course, we'll be looking to see if it shows up here in the United States. We suspect at some point it will because people all around the world are traveling. All right, now we got to get to some bad news. Remember we said New Jersey hospitalizations were likely wrong? Yeah, they were. And they corrected. It's now 70 out of 70 hospitals reported. That correction is why you see such a rapid drop. They'll probably correct some of these lower days. Or, matter of fact, they already did. The point is, it's now up to 343 people in the hospital in New Jersey, higher than any point last week. ICUs are at 29. There were 11 people on a ventilator, and discharges, only 17. Not many people being discharged for the number of people that just got admitted, so that's not good either. That indicates to me that there's some relatively long stays at the moment. Not a good thing that we want to see. Let's take a look at some EMS activity. Philadelphia, my city, EMS total, 839 EMS incidents yesterday. As you know, the previous day was just close to near 700, which was really good, and it just came right back and went right back up. Not something we like to see. Let's do a live look in at what's going on in Montgomery County. Let's refresh this to make sure it's the most up to date. It is. Look at that. 3 in a row down below. Respiratory emergency, respiratory emergency, respiratory emergency. That's not a call that we like to see because, it could be coronavirus. You don't know. And then we go to Chester County, Pennsylvania. Respiratory difficulty, stroke, sick person. It's a little busy right now for it being 5:30. I know we're running late. We were supposed to record this earlier, but, it happens. My estimates are just that. They're just estimates, and they're never always accurate. Moving myself to the right. Okay, we showed this yesterday. Believe it or not, was not the first time we showed this. We did a special video way back. I think this goes back to late last year, where we actually showed this product before, or this system before. What you're looking at here is yellow and red alerts in the state of Maryland for hospitals. They represent some sort of a diversion. There's a code up here. I posted the link to this yesterday. I think we're going to add this to the website. In other words, meaning I have a list of links. I'm going to add this into the data links so that way it's always there for you guys to go to and see. And it describes what a yellow, red, green, reroute, trauma. I'm not going to go through what they are, but what we want to see here is look how many hospitals are in yellow and red. There's even one that's in orange. And I will say this. Orange means an ambulance is reroute. The ambulance saying, nope, nope, don't send your ambulances our way. We need to reroute. We don't have room for you right now. We can't take another patient. Yeah, there's one of those going on right now. And there's several different regions. You have this one, which includes Baltimore, Washington Medical Center. You know, some big hospitals. Then you also have another region here, which has more hospitals in the Baltimore, Washington area, I believe this is. Yeah, see, Washington Hospital Center. So, and look at this. This is bad. This is not a good thing, my friends. No, not good at all. Then you come out here to these other hospitals. You just only have a couple here, but there's a lot of hospitals that are dealing with, they're basically swamped right now. That's the best way to put it. All right, now to some data that we really don't want to look at. New York State. Okay, but we have to look at it. 858 new cases today. Okay, that part's not terrible. 13.6% positivity. It's actually slightly lower than yesterday. 13.2% is the 7-day average. But let's refresh this because you know it's just going to do it anyhow. Zoom in. Here's the hospitalizations. Well, that's good enough. Take a look at this. Not only is it higher than any point last week, they ended last week. Statewide hospitalizations 847. Today that jumped up to 958. That's right. It increased by, what is that? 111 in one day. And mind you, some of that's because it kept increasing over the weekend, but you get the point. Hospitalizations are rapidly rising in New York State. But it doesn't stop there. There's now 95 people in the ICU. Look at this. The ICUs are actually rising. Who remembers, was it last year? Maybe the start of this year? Oh, well, we're seeing hospitalizations rise across the country, but what we're not seeing this go-around is ICUs rise. No, intensive care units are seeing an increase in COVID patients this time. And it's a rather concerning one, because in some cases, those number of people in the intensive care units, like look here, here's back in June, there were 40 people in the intensive care unit, 95. It's more than doubled. That's not a good thing to see. And a big issue, and I've been saying this time and time again, is not so much, oh, well, maybe the virus is more severe now. Yeah, we're not going to even debate that. Here's the problem. You have a lot of people that have not been infected for a really long time, and those who are, chances are it's a second or third infection at this point. And then you also have a very low, and this, New York State's one of the most boosted states. You have a very low boosting rate all across the country. A lot of people have opted not to take the booster. So when you have such low immunity in the population, there's more chances for someone to develop more severe cases, which is why we are seeing the number of ICUs go up. That's probably what's happening. We're also seeing the hospitalizations go up, but again, when you have a higher volume of cases, you have a higher volume of a rise in hospitalizations, and that seems to me is what would be the conclusion as to what's going on here. If you have any theory down below, by all means share a comment. If you have a question or anything, let me know down below. I'll do my best to try and answer it. All right, here's something we have not looked at before. Moving myself back to the left. Colorado's COVID-19 data. I said I want to be more friendly, try and find more states. And, well, I found one, Colorado. Maybe we'll try and find another one tomorrow. And unfortunately, their data is not really up to date. I don't know what day Colorado actually Actually, it's telling me right here. They update on Wednesdays. All right. Well, we'll look at this again tomorrow, I guess. As of last Wednesday, the 8th, they had 77 people in the hospital. Look at this chart. You can see here. Yep. Look really closely. Maybe it's highlighting it. Maybe it's not. It is rising a bit. So it is starting to rise in Colorado now. So that is something interesting that we are watching. Can I actually zoom in on this? No, I can. Yes, I can. I can zoom in on this, but we're not going to wait for this. The point is, we are seeing, here it is. Look at this. So you can see on July 2nd, there were a total of 518 cases reported. Now, it's up to 952 cases on the most recent case update. So, yeah, the number of cases are rising now, and that is not good to see. Texas, we'll get another update out of Texas tomorrow. Last week was 11,826 cases. It was higher than the previous week. We'll have to see if it does that again this week, because remember the week before that was actually lower than 1 week. So I suspect we'll probably continue to see a rise. Hospitalizations continue to rise in Texas as well. India, I was not seeing anything for India today, which is just as well because India's cases right now, they're actually getting really low. If they start to rise again, I think we'll go back to showing daily India reports. And let's just real quickly go over just a couple countries here. New Zealand, cases are up 16%. We see a 15% rise in Romania. Deaths are up 50%. Belgium, cases are up 68%. And two more. Ireland, cases up 29%. And Mako, cases are up 19%. And speaking of Ireland, I forgot to mention here, Ireland, deaths are down 81%. 3 versus 16, so that's not bad. I hope to get some more data out of the UK soon on that BA.6 variant that I'm hearing about because it may be concerning. We'll see. We don't know yet. Anytime there's a new variant, I'm always itchy to know more information about it. Alrighty, folks, that does for today's pandemic update. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And if you know anyone that needs a wake-up call about the pandemic not being over and about COVID rising again, by all means, share this with them. And I'll tell you what, I think our message is getting out there. Not only here, but on Twitter at COVID Data Report and my website, datareport.info. I think our message is getting out there. Locally, this week, no, not this week, today, I've seen a lot more people in masks. And a lot of them were in the correct mask today. I saw N95s on people today. And it wasn't just one person. I would say today masking went from about 1%, which it was, last week was terrible. Last week was like 1%, to, I want to say 35% masking today in some circumstances. Like I delivered Starbucks today. 4 out of the 5 people working there had masks on. I was like, holy cow, this is great to see. I almost just wanted to thank them. But hey, it's fantastic. Alrighty, guys, I'll see you again tomorrow. We'll have some weekly updates tomorrow. And I'll see you all again next time. But until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone. Have a great evening.